Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hi, Dave. This is Jerry from beautiful Bellevue, Ohio. Got some questions for you. Which group of players do you think could benefit most from the draft? Some of them are getting a little long in the tooth. I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. Thanks. Love your show. Bye.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Scott, I think one area the Browns, and it's a little under the radar, that they'll look to upgrade is on the offensive line. They're a little older, a little beat up, and kind of expensive. And those are not great. When you add all those up, that's where that's an area you need to look to fortify with some young guys that you think can play.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I would say specifically the interior of that line, right? Joe Bitonio's older, Wyatt Teller, Ethan Posick. They've all missed some time over the last couple of years. You hope nobody's breaking down, but you have Luke Whippler and Michael Dunn. You don't have a whole lot of depth there. You don't have a whole lot of, maybe highly drafted depth there. Whippler was a 6th-round pick, I think. So could they take a guard in the 3rd or 4th round and kind of groom that guy to be a replacement for Bitonio or Teller? Yeah, I could certainly see that, and I think that's an area that they should address. An infusion of the talent there. The rest of the positions I feel pretty good about from a youth perspective. Maybe another young linebacker, and then I mentioned maybe a difference maker at D-tackle.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say, Andrew Berry, the one thing we're starting to see, he's going to look for guys that he thinks can play multiple years in the league, and those are the guys that he's going to draft. It's not like he's looking to fill holes. When you get into the 4th and 5th round or 6th round, find a guy that you think you can develop that in a year or two can be on the field and be on the field for 2 or 3 years.
Well, especially given the state of the roster, right? Like, and everybody says draft, take the best player available. It's hard to do that when you have openings on your starting 22, right? In 2020, when they drafted Jed Wills Jr. at left tackle, everybody knew they needed a left tackle, and they were going to get it through the draft. Now, the draft set up that year. We can argue whether or not Jed Wills was the right pick, but that was a need pick as well as they think Jed Wills is good. Now, with the state of the roster, like if they didn't take a defensive tackle at 54, they'd still be fine. They still have 5 guys that could make the roster right now. So I think that gives you a lot of flexibility to identify players with upsides and with potential and with the ability to play, like you said, multiple years and play down the road as opposed to having to fit a guy in a hole right now and play him right away. The Browns just aren't set up like that.